Hi. So, listen, I know I have a relatively small audience, but I still feel I owe you an explanation as to why I've been absent for several months. And the reason is that I met someone. Yeah, I met someone, and her name is depression. Actually, it's less someone new that I met and more of like an old flame that I reconnected with. But things are different between us this time, and I could see her sticking around for the long term. Anyways, sorry for my leave of absence, but I really needed it, and I think I'm back to a place where I can start making videos somewhat consistently again. So today I'm going to talk about something I came across on YouTube that was from my childhood, but I hadn't thought about it in several years, so I must have like repressed it or something. Something you may be surprised to learn about me is even though I wouldn't say I was raised religious, I did attend like church on Tuesday nights in elementary school. It was like a kids church group. I guess this is the kids church group dance. I think it was mostly like as a vehicle for socializing with other kids. I don't think my parents were really concerned about the state of my soul or anything. And in defense of the program, I remember it mostly consisting of just like crafts and games that loosely connected to some sort of biblical theme. Just how Jesus walked on water, we're gonna have a water balloon fight. But I eventually stopped attending this program after I found a sense of community in theater. I think when you become a teenager is when the church starts to tell you like sexuality is something you should be ashamed of and Satan is trying to seduce you through Harry Potter.
Warlocks are enemies of God. And I don't care what kind of hero they are. They're an enemy of God. And had it been in the Old Testament, Harry Potter would have been put to death.
But one night at that program, I remember we had like a movie pajama night where we came in our pajamas, they had popcorn and snacks, and we were gonna watch a movie. And naturally, as the movie-obsessed child that I was, I got excited. I knew because it was church, it was gonna need to be a G or PG movie, and they might even feel the need to make it a Christian movie, but they'd probably go with like Prince of Egypt, which is great, so I would have been okay with that. But they didn't put on Prince of Egypt. They put on, Hermie, which isn't a movie. It's a 40-minute, straight to VHS Christian special. I came across it on YouTube recently, and I was reminded of that night where I felt Hermie robbed me of the experience of watching an actual movie. But you know, that's not really fair. I had this built-in vendetta against Hermie, so maybe now, if I watch it without that bias, I'll see how good it actually is. So it opens with a live action segment with this guy named Max Lucado.
I'm Max Lucado,
who is the creator of Hermie and a minister. And just in case I seem too mean when I inevitably make fun of this guy's creation, keep in mind that according to his Wikipedia page, Lucado has stated that he believes in the traditional biblical understanding of marriage, a male and a female, and argues that same-sex marriage sinfully goes against God's original design. So, you know, he's okay to make fun of because he sucks. Max is interrupted by Hermie the caterpillar, who talks to him from a leaf.
and you're special too.
Sure, right. Can't spin, can't fly, can't sting. Just crawl, that's all I do. Here I am, crawling right now.
So this was released in 2003, which was just a short 2 years after the release of another animated movie you might have heard of called Shrek. And I think during that time especially, a lot of animated projects tried to capitalize on the success of Shrek's very unique sense of humor. It's hard to exactly describe, but you know Shrek, he's like a modern guy, and he's sarcastic, and he makes pop cultural references. I don't know why I'm doing a Brooklyn accent. Shrek doesn't speak in a Brooklyn accent, but you know, he's like that kind of sense of humor. Yeah, not quite. That was awkward. It's hard to describe, but I feel you know what I'm talking about. They try to give Hermie a similar cynical sense of humor, but the writing isn't nearly as clever, so we just end up with quips like,
Hey, do you eat fly eggs? Neither do I.
Also, speaking of Shrek, Hermie's face looks so much like the triplet baby ogres from Shrek the Third. Look, it's like uncanny. Anyway, after Max tells us some shit about everyone being special, we transition to a fully animated world. And let's just address up top that yeah, the animation in this movie isn't very good. But I'm not gonna dwell on that too much considering the thing's 20 years old and I doubt they had like a Disney level budget. Disney is the last name of one of the voice actors though, so there's that. Also, the background music is like, it's like low-key kind of good. Hermie is then shown admiring a butterfly, and I mean, he's like really excited about it.
Oh, boy.
Hermie? More like horny. He then has a fantasy about him being able to fly.
Oh, look at that tree. Tree? Oh, no. Hey, what? Whoa, whoa. Hey. Oh, whoa. Hey. Oh.
Why did Hermie turn into like a grumpy Italian man there? Whoa, hey! Also, hope you enjoyed that fantasy sequence because Hermie has them a lot. After a failed flying attempt that causes the other caterpillars to laugh at them, Hermie naturally goes to talk to God.
God, are you awake?
And God speaks directly back.
Always, Hermie.
Good.
That is strange. Don't religious people usually say that God speaks to humans through like earthly signs as opposed to like literally talking? I wonder if any kids watched this movie and then were disappointed when they asked God for like a new Lego set and he didn't respond with,
"You got it, fam. 8,000-piece Millennium Falcon coming your way."
Anyway, Hermie starts asking God why he was made so ordinary, but he's interrupted by his friend Wormie.
I don't have anything. I'm just Hermie.
Oh, I see.
And I'm just wormy.
So here's the thing about Wormie, and I'm taking this seriously, so just, you know, Hermie's definitely a caterpillar. I know that for a fact. And Wormie looks like he's the same species, so why is his name Wormie? My name's not, like, zebra. I mean, even if he is a worm, that's weird too, because, like, human-y. You know what I'm saying? The next morning, Hermie is once again admiring the butterfly, this time with Wormie.
See how he flies? It's amazing. Now look at me. Tell me, what is it about me that is so unique?
Now listen, I know scrutinizing the logic of this children's cartoon about talking bugs is a losing battle, but I gotta pad this video's runtime somehow, so... If Hermie's a caterpillar, wouldn't his parents have been butterflies? And he couldn't figure out based on that he would become one eventually as well? Hermie begins to sing about how he wishes he could be special.
If I were only bigger, a little smaller, a little thinner, or maybe taller.
Of course, the body that's a basketball player is the only one that's black. You know, that's surprising considering this movie is made by Christians who are usually like the least racist people around. Come to think of it, why are the cutouts of human bodies anyway, given that he's a fucking caterpillar? Later, Hermie gets annoyed while eating leaves with Wormie.
Lots of things eat leaves. Everyone I know eats leaves.
What should we eat?
I don't know, Wormie. Maybe a pussy? Maybe it's about time we get some bitches? And I don't mean other bugs, I mean like humans, like in B-Movie. An ant shows up and starts flexing his strength, and...
Hi, guys. Excuse me.
I just gotta say, I don't like this ant, okay? I don't like his face. I don't like that he grunts every time he picks up something. I don't like that Hermie asks him how he carries such a big load.
How do you carry such a big load?
So if we could just move on from the scene with this ant, I'd appreciate it. So to see if he's strong, Hermie has Wormie drop a pine cone on him, but the pine cone flattens Hermie. Literally flattens him like Flat Stanley. Then Hermie pops up all dizzy and says in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice,
"I'll be back."
Oh.
But like, why though? What will he be back from? What does the Terminator have anything to do with what just happened? This is the perfect example of the movie trying to be like Shrek, inserting a pop cultural reference even where it makes zero sense. What was I thinking when I decided to watch this movie?
Maybe you were too high.
It starts raining, and while this panics Hermie and Wormie, it doesn't seem to bother Mr. Snail because he has his shell.
Watch.
Nice and dry. All the comforts of home.
Show what he looks like without the shell. Show his gross, shellless slug form, you cowards. Also, I love that the snail's house includes a framed picture of a female snail. Actually, sorry, that's some outdated thinking on my part. The snail in the picture may be wearing makeup, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a woman. Happy Pride Month. So you've probably picked up on the pattern. Hermie gets jealous, has a fantasy where he has a shell, and then hatches a scheme to get himself one where Hermie drops a beehive on him.
Sorry, we're not home.
How did he end up inside the beehive when it landed on top of him? The pair once again talk to God.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, Hermie.
Did God not sound like a little bit annoyed there?
Sure, Hermie.
Sure, Hermie, I can listen to you bitch about being ordinary for the third time. It's not like it's 2003 and I'm busy dealing with the invasion of Iraq or anything.
The next bug Hermie and Wormie meet is the ladybug, whom they admire for her spots.
Your spots, they're so
Gorgeous.
yeah, and so
Perfectly round.
Perfectly round? Is that a joke about breasts? That's not very Christian. Have fun in hell, Max Lucado. Have fun in hell with Satan. Predictably, Hermie fantasizes about having spots, and I can't explain it, but I don't like this celebrity Hermie. I don't like his sunglasses. I don't like his smile, his cocky little smile. This and the ant from earlier, both I just don't like them. So Hermie has Wormie drop some berries on him so he can get spots, but they bounce all around and get all over the other caterpillars. And doesn't this one frame look like they died? It looks like the aftermath of a mafia shootout. Upset over his repeated failure, Hermie storms off, but Wormie goes after him.
ow!
Man, for being a homophobic, I'm surprised Max Lucado allowed this frame in his movie. Though I'm not surprised that Hermie is a top. Happy Pride Month. They talk to God once more, this time to apologize for causing so much trouble, but God reiterates he's
Not finished with you yet.
And as you've probably guessed, Hermie wakes up the next morning in a cocoon, which he emerges from as a butterfly, finally receiving all the admiration he desired from the other bugs.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hermie.
We then cut back to Max Lucado, who closes out the film.
I'm glad God's not finished with me yet either. You know he loves us just the way we are.
Unless we're gay, right, Max? So I take some issue with this film's message that if you're ever feeling down on yourself, just know that God's not finished with you yet. Like, yeah, that works with caterpillars who are guaranteed to become butterflies at some point, but that kind of positive transformation isn't a sure thing for humans. Like, yeah, some people grow up and become attractive and successful, but I'm sure others get older and just get lonely and depressed. So I'm told. Also, I was confused by the ending because I know there are Hermie specials released after this where he's still a caterpillar.
I don't like rules. Rules aren't cool. I'm cool. C-O-O-L. I'm king of the bees, baby. I got my own rules. Now I gotta collect pollen to make some honey. Bye.
So I guess those take place before this one, meaning the first Hermie special takes place farthest in the future in the timeline. The Hermie Cinematic Universe. Kevin Feige, who? I only know Max Lucado. Regardless, in addition to this cartoon being boring and repetitive, I find the concept of Christian cartoons in general kind of hypocritical, because I know a lot of Christians that freak out whenever children's media adds like LGBT representation and they say that that's indoctrinating kids. Yet they're okay with this, which is like blatantly instilling religion into kids. So yeah, overall, not a fan of Hermie, but... Oh yeah, well, I'm not a fan of you, mister. And I don't mean like a ceiling fan. Well, I guess I'm not one of those either. No, I don't want to do this bit here. Well, sometimes you gotta do things you don't want to. Like, you think I want to be a boring old caterpillar? I know, I'm serious. I'm not doing it, so...